everybody. Rev up your engines and buckle up for the 12th episode of Riding in Cars with Real Estate Credit Edition. My name is Marty Fink, loan officer and branch manager, powered by Homespire Mortgage, coming to you from my husband's Mercedes. Today, we are cruising with a credit sensei, a networking ninja, and the mastermind behind Credit Kwon, Mr. Dwayne Jenkins. So Dwayne films a lot of short reels and videos and things like that when he goes out and does his networking, because he's a master at networking. And they always have these great rhymes. So I have written one, and I'm so nervous. So nervous. So,
okay. I want to hear this.
All right. This is about Mr. Dwayne Jenkins.
Wow.
So he fixes scores and opens doors, helping buyers win, not keeping them poor. With knowledge so tight and rhymes so right, he makes credit clear like a green light. From the Richmond streets to Hampton roads, he's turning bad credit into sold. How'd it do?
I love that. I've always wanted people to make songs about me.
I'm not singing it.
That was awesome.
I don't even know if I can rap. I might.
No, that was awesome. MC Marty. All right.
So,
that was awesome.
Sit back, enjoy the ride. Let's talk credit, connections, and the power of a well-timed rhyme. Let's go.
Wow. Marty Fink with the funk, boy.
When it comes to networking, you're always in the fast lane. What's your key to accelerating relationships into real business?
I like to find a genuine connection with people. You know, I think our world focuses on the differences. I mean, especially this time of year, we're coming off an election. You know, you can't go online without seeing somebody arguing with somebody else. So what I try to do, I know the differences are there, but I just try to look for the common ground and just enjoy that and stay there and build off of that, right? So, yeah.
So some people hit roadblocks when they're trying to connect.
Yeah.
Like they get nervous or they don't want to go, or that kind of thing, to networking events or getting out or talking to people. And in this industry, one thing is being reluctant when it comes to those kind of things. They don't want to get out. I mean, I even have days sometimes myself, believe it or not, that I would just rather stay home and I don't want to go out. How do you overcome reluctance when it comes to that kind of thing? Do you ever worry about, the biggest thing with reluctance is, they worry about what people think of. Do you ever worry about that? Or do you have some advice for the folks in the world out there of how to overcome that kind of reluctance?
Oh, that's a great question. So the first thing I'd say is maybe 10 seconds of courage, and just count down to 10 and just do it, right? You can always retreat, but if you can just get yourself to just do it, get started, walk in a room, shake a hand, you'll find yourself relaxing, getting into the present moment, and you'll start to genuinely enjoy while you're there. But I typically have those feelings before every networking event, before every time I speak. I typically have those feelings like, oh gosh, what if I mess up? Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I don't feel like being here. And then it just quickly goes away because I just count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1. I skipped some numbers here, but I just count down, and I just
time limit. I'm just kidding.
And I just get involved. I shake a hand. I walk in. I make it a point to greet somebody as quickly as possible, and then I find myself just getting into the moment and being present. So one thing about the networking, and people do ask, how can I throw an event? What do you do differently? What can I learn from you? And I would say a couple of different things. You want to make everyone feel included, right? So if there's alcohol at an event, right, you don't want to isolate somebody or ostracize somebody for choosing not to drink. That's their choice. Make them feel welcome. I've just seen people say, no, I don't want to drink, and then I've seen somebody, well, why don't you want to drink? Well, I mean, maybe for whatever reason, maybe it's something that they don't want to share, but you don't want to isolate somebody, because the purpose of a networking event is to build relationships that hopefully also lead into business, right? The other point I want to make is that, I think that your events are amazing. And I've seen events where you've had a lot of people there. And I've seen events where the turnout wasn't bad. It was just more intimate, right? Yeah. If we're talking to our real estate people, you typically have an event. You want people there, and then you wanted to branch out into the one-on-one coffee meets, right? So if you only have 3 or 4 people show up to an event, you've got your 3 or 4 coffee meets right there on the spot. You're going to have 2 hours to build rapport and leave an event with 4 friends you didn't have before. So that's the one thing I want to speak against, is that there's no such thing as a bad event if one person turns out you're about to spend 2 hours making a new friend.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. Even though the event was small, I had my pity party for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy all this food, and I'm going to enjoy the people that were here. And we had such a blast. We were loud. We had a good time. We took a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
We did a couple reels. Like, if the amount of people that were supposed to show up, it would have been probably not as intimate, and I wouldn't have made a stronger connection with some of the people that were there.
Right.
So you are correct in that. But I did have a pity party for 5 minutes. I ain't gonna lie about that.
You can't get those 5 minutes back. And whoever's watching this, that is just the algorithm found you and you've never been to a Marty party, okay, you are missing out. I'm gonna need you to get to the next Marty party. She is the life of the party. You can't miss her in the room. She's got this great smile and she's a lot of fun. So if you've been missing out, you need to be at the next thing.
So your rhyming intros are like everybody's favorite thing. Your rhyming intros are like premium fuel. They make people remember you. How did that become a part of your brand? Because that is your brand. And how does that drive business your way?
You know, I think it's just my personality. I finally found something where like my dorkiness in life actually is productive. So, I mean, that's just all it is. This is the stuff that got me no dates in high school. So it's just finally working out in my favor, but I think that credit is boring. I think that it's just a boring topic. I think a lot of the most important things that we need to know are pretty boring, right? And real estate, you can't really throw a rock in our area without hitting a realtor upside the head. So you got to do things to make yourself stand out, be memorable, be fun, So when I come in and I'm like, hey, we're Credit Kwon and we Jackie Chan charge-offs and Bruce Lee late pays and Kung Fu collections. I mean, that's more memorable than, something that's not that, right?
Okay. In networking, some people stall out while others gain momentum. What's your secret to keep that engine running and turning contacts into contracts? And I know you have a closing today at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a credit repair person do that before.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
He actually goes to his closings when he has a team that works for him, but he likes to go to the clients once they get their credit fixed. He'll go to their closing. I've never seen that, but that's amazing to me. So,
thank you.
Is that part of what keeps you going, or what do you think?
So I think so. And I think with credit, you're trying to make somebody appreciate something at a challenging time in their life, right? They just got told no for a mortgage or something. They just got some very bad news. So what you're trying to do in the midst of that is to get them to change habits that they might have had for 20, 30 years, maybe even longer. And you're trying to do it quickly, and it could be stressful. And, the work doesn't always come with a thank you. So when we do see somebody that does everything we ask them to do, we had a little bit of luck and they are at a closing table. I mean, that's just kind of special. We are emotionally invested in our clients' stories. I think that's what separates us. And we want to be part of that, event. We want to be part of that thing in their life. This is their first house and it's the biggest purchase of their life. Mm-hmm. We want to be there.
When did you start your business? Don't say like 7 years ago.
No, like 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2013.
So, but you just got big like recently, though.
So
that's like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it just took a lot to kind of, get some doors open. And I mean, that goes back to the networking question you asked, what keeps me going? I remember when it was like when I was knocking on a door and it wouldn't open. I remember when, even this right now, you reached out to me, you wanted me to be a part of this. We've done other great things. You really appreciate me. I remember when a loan officer wouldn't give me the time of day. I remember when, I could get one that, or just whatever, or just who's this guy in my face, So I just remember all those obstacles, and that keeps me going because I'm not going to let anybody come in and take over, what I've, worked hard to build. Right. So, so I'm at every event. I'll be at 3 events in a day. I work off of 4 hours of sleep. I work 7 days a week, if that's what it takes. Because
you get up early.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
I only know he gets up early because of Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, Facebook says he gets up early. That's what he tells us on Facebook. So I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
That's a big deal if you can change somebody's credit life.
Yeah.
Because it's a stigma that it's horrible that you don't have good credit.
Right.
And some people are just out there. They have no direction. They have nowhere to go. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to do. And one thing I know for me, myself, I had so many derogatory things on my credit at the time. There was no way I was going to do that by myself.
Right.
It was worth my time and the money that was charged by a company, that it was worth the time and the effort to let them do it for me instead of me doing it. Because you know what? I'd have never done it.
Right.
And even before I would refer people to a credit repair company, I know already, and I will make the statement, if you're not going to do it on your own, you need to hire somebody. It's super important because you guys guide, you keep people on track, you have scheduled meetings and you go over everything line by line. I mean, that's amazing what a true, real credit repair company can do. This one here, Kwon. So, with you covering a lot of ground from Richmond to Hampton roads, how do you stay in the driver's seat when it comes to building relationships across such a big territory? How do you remember all that? That's crazy.
I think I just have a knack for it, and I think a lot of it's fueled by passion, but there's also certain systems in place, and I mean, this is where you can leverage technology, right? Mm-hmm. We also have customers across the country, I mean.
Yeah, because you can operate across the country, can't you? In all 50 states?
2 states, South Carolina and Georgia, that we don't operate in. Now, Georgia, you can't operate in. I mean, you actually have to be an attorney to legally practice credit repair in the state of Georgia. So when you see these people on Instagram and they're based out of Atlanta and all this stuff, I'll just let you connect the dots there. But you have to be an attorney, right?
I got you.
Yeah. But back to your question, it's keeping things organized. I'm getting some face-to-face time with you now, which we actually don't get as much as I'd like,
No, it's usually at an event.
Yeah. So we're getting some one-on-one time. I'll be intentional to make sure that happens again in the next 45 to 60 days, but I can always text you. I comment on your posts. Mm-hmm. I may DM you. There are a couple of different ways to keep that connection going in between face-to-face.
Right.
And I also think face-to-face is very important. I mean, you just can't Zoom energy. I think Zoom is a great tool. I think video conferencing is great, but I don't think it's a substitute for face-to-face meetings, right? I love face-to-face. It's just an energy that you can't replicate with technology.
And then therein lies where people keep saying, well, ChatGPT is going to take over. Yeah, it's going to take over.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're still humans, and I don't care, even watching all those movies where the AI ends up taking over the world.
Right.
It doesn't really take over the world because you see at the end, it's always the human relationship still prevails. And I went way off the rails.
No, that was great. I'm so glad you brought that up because I love ChatGPT for other reasons because, there's so many people that we have to deal with, right? Mm-hmm. There's only 24 hours in a day. Mm-hmm. And it's not that we want to be calculating, but you don't get your return on investment of your time with everybody equally, right? ChatGPT is a separator for me, and I'll share this. I had a networking event and that I hosted, and I thought I made a great connection with somebody that I never met, and it wasn't a situation where they could really do anything for me, but I wanted them to get value out of attending the event. I would have remembered this person, right, had I bumped into them in the street, but they followed up with email, which is great because a lot of people don't even follow up after a networking event.
Right.
But I could tell, it could have just been, hey, great to meet you, let's grab coffee sometime. Bam, I would have been on it. It was 5 paragraphs that clearly came out of ChatGPT. and it was worded like a robot wrote it. It was too proper to be human. It was awkward, and honestly, it kind of completely turned me off, and it made me not really want to. They erased whatever they got out of me with the human connection by following up with a robotic thing. So to your point with Chat GPT, I think it's a separator. I don't think you should be taking things out of Chat GPT and just running with it. You got to take it. It helps you think, and you can humanize what it spits out. But if you don't do that, you might set yourself backwards more than you go forwards.
I use Chat GPT for a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning, and I haven't offered a class or anything like that because I want to make sure that I have honed in on what it actually will do for someone.
Can I give you a compliment?
What?
Okay. So as a lender, seriously, I just want people to be aware that you are an authentic person. You're an authentic lender. There are people out here that are teaching canned presentations on something as important as, Chat GPT, right? And I mean, just the fact that you want to pause, step back, you can easily get a room full of people in there and just throw a presentation together, but you're waiting because you want to be knowledgeable about what you're doing, and you want them to get information that you can truly stand on, that is going to impact them. Right. So I just love that you're not just out here just trying to feed somebody something that's going to get you some exposure. You're really taking the time to do something that's going to serve people well.
Right.
I think that speaks to a lot of things that you do because, when you have an audience, they're just kind of trusting you. They don't necessarily know if it's canned or not.
Right.
Right. And you're taking the time to make sure it's something worthwhile. Like, I think that says a lot about you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you need to do something about your credit so you can stop living off of debit, get with your boy Financial Chocolate, Dwayne Jenkins, aka the Big Black Credit Snack. You can reach us at www.creditquando.com, where we Jackie Chan, charge-offs, Bruce Lee, late pays, and Kung Fu collections. Wow.
You can also find him on social media too. You can find him on LinkedIn, and social media is Credit Kwando as well. And LinkedIn, I believe you have a credit. You have a LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn.
Dwayne Jenkins on
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I'm on all platforms at Credit Kwando, and Credit Kwando does not have an A in it. It is CREDITKWONDO.
And if you want to keep riding along with the best in real estate, make sure you follow, like, and describe. You can describe it too, but you can follow, like, and subscribe to Riding in Cars with Real Estate. We're bringing you the industry's best. Not only realtors, but the industry's best. That's in credit repair, title, home warranty, insurance. We're bringing everybody to you straight from the driver's seat. Drop a comment, share this episode, or tag a friend who needs to hear this. And if you're ready to take the wheel on your home ownership journey, reach out. We've got the roadmap to get you started there. Until next time, keep your credit strong, your connection stronger, and your ride smooth. We'll see you on the road.
There it is.